would you define employee engagement?
Employee engagement is, I think, when people are seeking to do more than what they have to do. I think it's people asking questions. I think it's demeanor. I think happy people and people that can roll with the punches, be flexible. Yeah.
And do you believe employee engagement is high at your organization?
I think at times and in certain areas. And I think to a large degree it has to do with people's feelings about their own autonomy in what they do. But I think it fluctuates.
Why do you think it fluctuates?
Sometimes increased engagement and awareness of what's going on can sometimes lead to disengagement if that awareness entails a lot of politics or a lot of things that people feel are not in the best interest of the group as a whole or the organization. Then they can become disengaged by becoming close to the politics that are taking place. I think it fluctuates based on circumstance sometimes. I think the challenges that you face within the organization, some people can rise to those challenges and overcome them easily, and sometimes when they're not overcame very easily, then people become disengaged and frustrated.
And what role do you in your organization, or what role do your organizational leaders play in increasing employee engagement?
I think they try to communicate it. I think they communicate it whether in written word or highlighting examples of exemplar practice. I think they try to do that. That's about it.
Does your own employee engagement fluctuate?
Yes, most definitely.
And why do you think so?
For mostly all the reasons listed before, I think the tasks and sometimes the autonomy I have to complete those tasks and the actual tasks themselves and working with others and making others feel good is very rewarding. But the closer you get to politics and when you're affected by other people's very ambitious behavior and sometimes selfish behavior, it can make you feel like you're part of something you don't truly believe in. And so there are times when I feel that way.
A definition of employee engagement for me would be that the employee is concerned and has, is committed to the organization and that they are working in, and also the values of that organization to make sure that there's a success and a progress, and also at the same time could be to enhance that employee's well-being. And I think that that's a good that as long as the employee and the organization hold the same objectives and values, there has to be trust and integrity, and that employee has to look to that organization to know that they are on the same line as far as what is the goal and the values of that organization. I work at a middle school, Deltona Middle School in Deltona, Florida, and it is very high in employee engagement. and our teachers, our administration and teachers are extremely involved and very enthusiastic about making our school a huge success for our students and for our reputation in our school. And our organizational, our educational and academic leaders in our school, they're all hands-on, and they're all very enthusiastic about seeing the success of the teachers, and that those teachers are having success with their students.
From a teacher's perspective, employee engagement can be defined as involvement within 3 areas in particular, and that would be colleague, student, and curriculum. Engaging in those three things, though, takes the support of the administrative team. The organizational leaders play such a large role in increasing that employee engagement by supporting our ideas and listening. I feel that our organization at DeLand High School, the leadership, it's the best leadership I've really ever been under in my 12 years of teaching. They listen, they hear us, and they are willing to open doors for us to engage as much as possible to increase student engagement, which is truly what our goal is in the end. Does employee engagement fluctuate? Absolutely. And that, I believe, is based on the current focus. For example, at this time, administrative team is focused so explicitly on online learning and making this happen correctly for students and making sure they're getting what they need, that they're engaging with employees in a different way. But even in the middle of that, they're making home visits and coming and plopping signs down on and in our yards to tell us we're appreciated and engaging with us in that way. Maybe not to support us in additional extracurricular ideas at this time, but I believe that it will fluctuate next year based on where our priorities lie then.
Throughout the 3 interviews, there were 2 highlighted factors in employee engagement. Employees are engaged when they feel connected to an organization, but they are also engaged when they are encouraged to utilize their individual strengths and have autonomy when making decisions and completing tasks. This balance between individual versus collective perspective also depends on the personality and the work capacity of each employee. For example, while some may value having the space to make independent decisions, others may be more engaged when they are able to share in the decision making with others. Some highlight that their engagement increases when their ideas are listened to and they're supported by organizational leaders. Despite the differences, one of the key areas of organizational development that Swanson and Holton underline are how each member or unit within an organization must have a united vision or goal. When teams within an organization are isolated, this can cause misaligned decision making to occur, which inhibits productivity. While autonomy is important for some employees, it must be balanced with collaborative practices where everyone brings their strengths to the table to solve joint problems. One of the key takeaways I had from these interviews was that while the work environment needs for employee engagement can be similar at times, it can also be vastly different. It's important for organizations to embed frequent surveys or temperature checks within their practice to ensure they are meeting the needs for groups and individuals. Like we personalize learning in the classroom, we must also personalize the workplace for employees who hold the key to productivity and institutional growth.